when we started to do the paperwork to be classified for agricultural land, you can't have a place that's less than 5 acres.
Okay.
So we went from the 3 to going, you know what, we might as well buy the lot. So we got the 6 that way.
What was it that made you want to purchase such a large plot of land? 6 acres is quite a lot.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Well, we've always wanted, a piece of land where we could grow on. My husband initially started with wanting God knows how many gazillions acres of land, and I've always been on the mindset of like, if I can't walk that piece of land, like, what am I doing? If I'm never going to see a corner of this, why do I need something that big? So we've searched and searched and searched, and this land actually that we've got is by some, like I was saying earlier on, some friend of ours now, and we met them, and they, at the time, the gentleman spoke to my husband. He said like, oh, we're looking for some neighbors and blah blah blah. So the conversation kind of breezed in passing. 2 years and some later, we kind of circled back to the same place. And here we are. We ended up buying the 6 acres from them. So there wasn't, initially we wanted to buy just 3.
Okay.
What has changed us to doubling it up? Because we wanted to eventually get the other 3, but it wasn't an immediate need, because we were like, we're just going to cultivate 1 acre to start with, clear, put, fruit trees, which we have like scattered everywhere. And then let's get to it later kind of thing. But when we started to do the paperwork to be classified for agricultural land, you can't have a place that's less than 5 acres.
Okay.
So we went from the 3 to going, you know what, we might as well buy the lot. So we got the 6 that way.
Wow. I love that. And so you're the place where you are off grid, and the aim is also to be self-sufficient. Why were those 2 aspects important to you guys as a family?
I think it aligns with the way we want to live our lives. I think it aligns with the way we want to raise our children, and showing them really and sharing with them the importance of respecting and valuing where what you eat comes from. The idea and the ability of, we don't know what life holds. We don't know what's around the corner tomorrow. And to understand that you have the power to get by on your own. If anything else, whatever madness takes off in the outside world, you're going to be okay in your corner because you got you. Nobody else got your back at the end of the day. Like, it's always going to be you and your Jack Jones. So do you have the skills and the mindset and the resources that you have set aside for yourself to survive, come what may? It doesn't have to be a doom and gloom scenario. It's more of, well, if something was to happen tomorrow, I'm okay. But if it doesn't, guess what? I'm still good, because I'm learning so many things, and it's beautiful. It's really empowering to be able to not be bothered whether something goes on out there or not. I'm just doing me for the most part. I'm just doing me. I'm going out into the world because I want to, not because I have to. Right. I don't have to get up to go to work. The bit of work that I do is because I genuinely enjoy it. I ain't got nothing. My time is mine. Absolutely. 100% at all times.
Very inspiring.
And to be able to share that with our kids is paramount for us. And I grew up in London, so this is a completely new world for me. And every day is exciting because it's something new. And I'm learning something new all the time.
And what has that learning journey been like for you?
Oh, it's had its ups and downs, to be honest. From learning to keep animals, we've got chickens.
Right.
Super weird things, but we got chickens, odd things, and just learning the mannerisms and how to care for these things, all of that. Everybody's got their own personality. It's something else. The trial of error of what grows in this soil versus what am I used to eating. I've never had to question what I eat and how the process of it goes.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I don't know, this really powerful connection between yourself and nature, and how much alike really and truly we are, and not paying that much mind to it. That's definitely been a journey and a half, and it still is, and I think it always will be in its own way.
Yeah. And one of the things I also wonder is, as someone who moves to a new country with intentions, community can be incredibly important. And I'm imagining, even in terms of understanding what will grow here, where should it be positioned, that wealth of knowledge that you can draw on from those around you, that must have been invaluable. So how important has community come to be for you? And what was the process of integrating and connecting with your neighbors and those in your village like?
I think community has been paramount, to be honest. Despite being off grid and us doing our thing or whatever, community has honestly been so important for us. From the simple fact of, like, even when we lived in town, and from, like I said, our landlord, who's a close friend of ours right now, to the point where, like, off his own volition, will drop me and the kids off to catch a bus to get our airplane. It's just little things, like, you've got somebody to call on if you need help with whatever. Our car broke down a couple of months ago. Our neighbor went and picked up the mechanic. The mechanic comes out here again. He's become another friend of ours. It's just, you have all these people around you. There's a gentleman who is another neighbor across from our land. He is always, whenever he has excess produce, from the plantains to his oranges, like this, the way we got the oranges from for the kids, always happy to share, always sharing, various things about the land, because he's a Belizean, he's an older gentleman, so he's been growing here for years, and sharing just tips and just being here, for advice, and just have somebody's knowledge to draw on, people that are here for you, and it's invaluable. And it's been really important for us, to the simple things like this morning. We decided that lately we wanted to help our neighbors with her goats a bit more, partially as a learning thing for the kids and myself. I don't know how to milk a goat to save my life, so I'm going through an awkward process of learning again. It's ridiculously funny, but it's a learning nonetheless. I don't, however silly I may look, I don't really care for it. It's just that I wanted to learn. So we kind of decided to do that. We're helping with the feeding the goats, and, so we did that this morning. We've got 2 liters of milk, fresh milk, that we came home with, that wouldn't have to pay for. So it's just little things, when you integrate your community and more people join your community, it just becomes that much easier, and because of community, for example, the people that we help and relocate, they benefit from that too. One of the last families that we helped relocate earlier this month, late August, earlier this month, we had internet installed in the house before they arrived, had SIM cards ready, local number ready, everything for them. Frank picked them up at the border, because I was away with the kids, drove them, took them to the shops, supermarkets, had them back at our house and made them dinner, because they've been traveling all day and it's really tiring, especially when you have a little kid. So just simple things like that. And the community are happy to support people that are coming here, and just to be a part of the, the larger community. So yeah, definitely very important, from help and support, and just having somebody to call on for whatever.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, as you say, one of the things that I love about your story and what you're doing is the way in which you're paying that learning and that support forward. So just tell people all the different ways in which they can connect with you, and also what's next, because I hear that you're working on a guest unit on your land, so that at some point people will be able to come and stay. But just tell us more about how people connect.
I do try my best to be on Instagram and accessible on decentralized_life on Instagram. I'm always open to answer any questions. We have a relocation program, which has been growing on its own for the most part, really, because people just genuinely want the support. And I can understand that, because I've been in those shoes, and I would have loved to have somebody else's knowledge to draw on when it was my turn, but I didn't. So that doesn't mean that I can't share my peace, with others. So yeah, we do the relocation program. It's up on the site. And yeah, like you were just saying, we're doing the guest casita now, which should be ready end of this year, early next year. And we've already got a few people lined up, which means the second one's got to go in. We've got the space cleared for it. We just need a few more hours in the day and a couple of pairs of hands. But other than that, nothing big. Yeah, the idea is to have a couple of casitas, couple of units, for people to come and stay, to learn, share, and even if it is to come hang for a bit, get to know the land and ease their way into Belize, and for us to help them find a place to live or purchase, whatever it is, really, just help you on your journey, whichever way we can, by sharing ours with you and our contacts in our community.
Yeah, no, that sounds so beautiful. And I'm still in shock from the numbers that you've told me. And now I can understand why people are flocking to Belize. But I just think, even from some of the past interviews that I've done, that the sort of people that it attracts, and I guess maybe the nature of the land itself, it just has a vibe that is just so hospitable and nurturing. And the fact that you're kind of building that sort of community on top of that, or held within that space, really, really is super exciting. So I hope people find as many ways as possible to support you, whether it's virtually, in person, whatever, because I think the work that you're doing is really, really important.
Thank you.